Hello everyone, welcome to Data Discovery. Today in this video we are going to describe related to list and array. So what is this difference between list and array? Okay, what is the advantages of using array and how we need to get to through Python also we are going to discuss in this video. So let's get started. Usually this type of the doubt you will be getting in solving some of the issue, like what's the difference between list and array. This type of the interview question you need to answer, and this is just a very simple question, so it's very easy to do to differentiate also. So let's get started. An array list is nothing but in a container you can add any type of the element. Okay, it can be a integer, in numeric type it can be any data type, like it can be integer, float, complex, or boolean type of the thing. You are just storing anything in the container. Okay, there is no any rules like it need to be in positive or it need to be in negative, not any such rule. But in array there are certain rules also, so related to that we'll just go through it. An array is a data structure used to store multiple values in a single value variable. See, multiple values you can store in a single variable. List also you can store multiple values in a single variable, but in array all of the same data type. Here there is a rule in array, it need to be of same data type. If integer you are storing, you need to store only integer. If you are storing float value, then only float, not any string or not any integer is going to support in this array, in the container. Okay, in the array container. But in list you can store any kind of the data type, so that is the main major difference between the list and array, and placed in contiguous memory location. So this is documentation, Python document, official documentation. You can go through it, in which you can see here each and every type code is given. Okay, and this is all the Python thing, like whether it need to be signed and unsigned, integer need to be assigned means positive, negative, and what kind of byte it's been storing. Okay, over here we need to give the fixed amount of bytes. What kind of type code we need to use it. So this is the official document. Just go through it. Over here we will be getting which, in array if we are storing, in the container if we are storing, so we need to mention the type code too. But in list there is not any certain we'll just do some kind of course so that you could able to understand. In list, as have said, we can do in the container we could able to store any kind of values. Okay, positive, negative, float value, string, etc things. But in array we could able to store, if we are mentioning integer, I means it's nothing but I, it's nothing but signed in positive only. Integer need to be there. Okay, I, that's why it's been given over here. Okay, so only positive values has been given. So in this you could able to store any kind of values, but it need to be a positive integer only. And even there it's been mentioned the byte also, minimum size of the byte. Okay, so this also we need to take in order. But in list there is not any byte constraint, nothing. So now let's differentiate between the Python and array. Okay, so there are two inbuilt function in Python. One is array and NumPy. Okay, NumPy is one step ahead of array. So that also we will discuss, but still we'll just move on and then we'll discuss. So first let's differentiate between list and array, and then we'll move towards what is NumPy related to it. Okay, list, first property is size. It dynamic size, auto resize. It automatically resizes as per your given content. If within the container, if you are storing 10 elements, 100 elements, is up to yours, and it could able to adjust according to it. But in array it's fixed, usually predefined in low level arrays only. Okay, so this is the first constraint, size matter. Second is data type. So this all things that you can say it in the interview question. First is size, second is data type, because it's suppose only heterogeneous, over here it's suppose homogeneous. All elements of same data type. If integer, then only integer. If float, only float. We need to define in array, but in list there is not any certain constraint also. Insertion and deletion is easier and more flexibility in Python. But in array, it's very complex, especially in middle of the array. If we need to extract it, we couldn't able to do it. Like I could able to show it in a code. So list has been stored with one string element and one float element. Okay, it's a heterogeneous dynamic size, as I have said. We have gone through this properties, and in array I have mentioned in which it need to be an integer. Okay, signed integer, that's why it's an I. And over here we have given values. It's a homogeneous integer. I haven't given any negative values or any float values, or else it will not be supporting. Okay, so insertion and deletion is easily allowed. If I'll append 5, then it will directly append. Let's print it. See, you can directly do the insert, even you can directly delete it, and even you can directly extract the values also. Okay, if we need to get the second index, then you will be getting as 3.4. So that also can be done in the list. But in array, okay, while doing with an array, you need to import library. Without importing library, you wouldn't able to do. So do import a library. List is already inbuilt function, so it could able to understand. Like if you will put the square bracket, then it's defined as a list. If you put a round bracket like this, then it's defined as a tuple. Okay, if you put this is in this bracket, then it support as a dictionary or in a set format. Okay, this is already the knowledge has been given to Python itself, so no need to worry. But in array, we need to import array, and then we need to mention it. As I have said, it's a homogeneous in nature, and append is allowed, but insertion is in middle is complex. Okay, let's append it and see it allows. Okay, first run the code, and then it will be allowing. Okay, 4 is allowed. But if I'll say 2, then it's giving 3. Then extracting data is also allowed, but inserting in middle of the values. So I need to insert 4 in after 1, which can be in complex in array. And if I need to put any negative values, that will be also not supported, and you will be getting an error. If for example I just give -4, okay, let's print. See, if you're giving -4, it's taking as positive, but you want -4, but it's taking it positive. Let's give it as float 4.0. Then directly you're getting error. Integer argument expected got float. See, the 4 has been deleted also. You will be not getting the value. So this is this one of the constraint, data type constraint in array. Data type constraint we have seen. Okay, memory efficient, less efficient, more efficient due to uniform types. Performance for mathematical operation, slow or no vectorization, faster, especially with NumPy array. Okay, over here, in Python list, we couldn't able to do multiple operation. Like I hope you have in mathematics you have gone through determinants and matrix. Okay, over there we could able to do 2 cross 2 matrix, 3 cross 3 matrix, multiple uh, things that we can do it. Addition you can do it, subtraction you can do it, multiplication you can do it. If you need to extract it 2D 3D, we can do it. But in list, it's been not supported. But in array also, n dimensional array is not supported. So that is the major difference between array and numpy. Array doesn't support n dimensional, but numpy, by using a numpy library, we can use n dimensional. So as of now we have gone through array library na, so now we'll go through the numpy array in which it supports n dimensional array. Like when it can be useful, that you need to get to know. First of all, in machine learning, and once we go through the deep learning ANN, CNN, RNN, in CNN we used to handle with pixel kind of data. So at that moment there will be a matrix multiplication will be held. So over there n dimensional array will be there, so at that moment you need to multiply between it. So at that moment this numpy is supported, but this array library is not being supported. So that is the advantage of numpy compared to array. Flexibility very high. So we'll see the example once we have completed. So flexibility is very high, as I've said, is contain mixed types, grow and shrink. We can update any values till 100, 200,000 lakhs in that list. But in array there is a very it's having a constraint in size and type. Okay, so this is the major difference between list and array. Now let's move to the numpy and array library. So array doesn't support, as I have said, it doesn't support n dimensional array. Okay. So over here, as I mentioned, we need to import library array, but in NumPy, import NumPy. Okay. So this is inbuilt function. Over here we could able to np.array. So whenever we are writing any code, this np you need to mention it every time. Over here also array, if not, if you don't want to write as array, you can write as ar, and then also you could able to run your code. And if you will see your a, then you will be getting as storing only int values and having the values. But in array you couldn't able to write this type of the code. Two dimensional array has been not supported, but in NumPy it's been supported. Okay, two dimensional is allowed, three dimensional is allowed. You could able to extract it, you could able to update it, you could able to multiply it. N number of operation can be supported in NumPy. So that is the major difference between array. Not major difference, it's one step ahead than array. That is NumPy. So most probably in your data science part, you will be using NumPy more than your array. So for NumPy, you need to get some of the concept related to array. So I hope from this video you get the concept. So this is related to the video related to list and array. I hope this video is finding out so useful. Do like, share, and subscribe to this data discovery channel. If anything, please comment and follow me at LinkedIn too. Thank you.